Yes, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman, Alfred.
I'm Batman.
I am Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Greetings, Bat Family. Welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. Make sure you do visit our website, holybatcast.com. You can also find us all over the internet on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Just search for Holy BatCast. You will find us. And if you're a fan of the show, want to help keep the show going and support the show, you can do that on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/holybatcast. And as always, the biggest of thank yous to everybody who has done that, because we know you don't have to, but you do it anyway, because you're awesome. We are also part of the Real Fans Podcast Network, so if you want to check out some of the other shows there, you can do that at rf4rm.com. As always, I'm your host, Andy DiGenova. Hello, and if you'd like to follow me when I'm not talking about Batman, you can do that on Instagram or on Twitter. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. Now, this episode, we've got a lot. We have a whole bunch of Aquaman goodness to talk about, but we also have a little bit of Harley Quinn goodness and a little bit of Titans goodness. So, fun things to discuss. Joining me is my partner in crime, and in this time of year, my partner in pumpkin spice. It's the great pumpkin himself, Jamie Drewley.
This whole room smells like pumpkins right now. It's crazy.
I love it.
Oh, wait,
I support it. I don't think you should change a thing.
Candle. Okay. All right. I'm good with it. I'm totally good with it.
You're eating the pumpkins. You're burning the pumpkins. You're smelling the pumpkins.
My wife came home from the store the other day with pumpkin caramel corn with pumpkin seeds in it and pumpkin covered pretzels. So yeah, I'm living my best life right now.
'Tis the season. What more can you ask? Let me ask you this, Jamie. Have you enjoyed a pumpkin scone from Starbucks?
No, but if you're going to recommend it to me, I just happen to have a bunch of money left on a Starbucks card on my phone here, so.
It might just change your life.
Oh.
Not to oversell it, but it's one of the most damn delicious things I think I've ever had in my life.
I'm making a note of it immediately right now, and guess where I'm going after I drop the kids off at school tomorrow. First I'm going to yoga, then I'm going to brunch with the girls, then I'm going UGG shopping, then I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm going to get my scone and my PSL.
Please do. Pumpkin it up for all of us, and I hope I didn't oversell it, but man, it's good.
Yeah, people think I got a problem. I don't care. I have consumed something pumpkin flavored every single day since about the last 2 weeks of September. And I do not care. I love it.
I heard pumpkins are endangered, and they're blaming you.
I'll take that bullet. That's fine.
Awesome. Well, I could talk pumpkin-flavored goodies all day long, and I'm not even exaggerating. But let's talk about some DC goodies that we have gotten over the past week. We're a little late getting to this episode, but I warned you guys. I warned y'all. October is effing crazy, and so, as always, I just have to thank you for your patience. Know that we love you. It's just that this month is just going to be nuts, and it's going to continue to be nuts, if I'm being completely honest. Things aren't going to get somewhat normal until November, but we're going to do our best to keep getting you guys episodes because we do care. And fortunately, at the end of last week, we got a whole bunch of stuff thanks to New York Comic Con. So New York Comic Con has, it's still not quite the pop culture event that San Diego Comic Con is, but every year it seems to get closer and closer. And now we're starting to get some pretty cool reveals at New York Comic Con. So the nerd world needs to pay more attention every fall when this happens. All the things I think, well, no, not all the things, because Aquaman, duh. But the first couple things I want to talk about are around DC Universe. DC Universe, of course, launched. We've already reviewed it on this show. I've been very happy with my DC Universe subscription, and there is more good stuff coming. And so at New York Comic Con, and thanks to DC Universe, we got our first glimpse at the Harley Quinn animated series. So we got a little animated teaser, and we also learned that Kaylee Cuoco, famous, of course, for The Big Bang Theory, is going to be our new Harley Quinn. So now she and Melissa Rauch have voiced Harley Quinn, so while they're sitting around on the set of Big Bang, I hope that they're comparing Harley Quinn notes.
That's such a weird coincidence that the two of them did that character. I mean, and not very far apart as far as time span either.
Well, and strangely, I don't know if you even heard this, but for Birds of Prey, Margot Robbie dropped out and Jim Parsons took over the role.
You don't say.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be great.
Okay.
So
I'll still watch it most likely.
We're just gonna work our way through the whole cast.
Okay.
Laurie Metcalf is gonna play Harley Quinn's mother. It's gonna be terrific.
That I would really like to see.
I mean, I love
she
Laurie
would have made a
Metcalf
great
in
Huntress
anything.
in her day.
I love her in anything. That's Mrs. Loomis. Show some damn respect.
I'm going to act like I didn't hear you say that. So
I know, but I love her.
One of the few things we do not agree on. Anyway.
So Kaylee Cuoco is Harley Quinn. I do remember when they announced the Harley Quinn animated series, there were rumors that they were trying to get Margot Robbie to do it. Obviously, that didn't happen. Would have been cool, but I get it. But Kaylee Cuoco, that's fun. I have no issue with that. You get a little taste of her performance in this teaser. And did you watch the teaser, Jamie?
I did.
So, thoughts? Did you share it with the kids? Because I know your daughters are all about the Quinn.
No, because my kids were already in bed before I watched it tonight. I hadn't watched it until 40 minutes ago or something. I guess it looks okay. I mean, Harley's not my personal favorite thing. Basically, what I'm excited about is it appears we got Diedrich Bader back for Batman.
I know. How great was that?
I'm more than a little excited for this.
It's a super funny little promo. It's Harley and Poison Ivy in Arkham. It's awesome. And then, getting the little Batman cameo with Diedrich Bader. I thought it was super fun. It's very self-aware, which is not surprising. And I was amused by Poison Ivy, speaking of the fans being like, they hate everything.
Yeah. That's the accuracy of that just little close to home, I guess.
Maybe too true to be funny.
Almost, yeah.
But the animation looks good. I like her voice so far. It feels a little more subdued, maybe a little more understated.
It sounds like her, just kind of amped up a little bit, if that makes any sense. I watched the show. I know it's not the cool kid thing or the popular thing, but I like Big Bang Theory. I watch it every week. So the fact that they even got somebody else from there to do it, to me, is just a kind of cool anyway. But I mean, the voice, Harley's one of those things. It's tricky, and we even mentioned this with Margot Robbie. You know, what was her Harley voice going to sound like? You know, we get concerned with Batman's voice and Joker's voice and mannerisms, but like Harley fits in that category too, because it's a character that can be easily overdone. Mm-hmm. And I would almost rather have somebody bring their own thing to it than try and mimic what's done before and wind up oversaturating the I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to call it quirkiness, the mannerisms and the voice inflections and everything like that. I mean, it can be overdone, and it can get annoying really fast if it's overdone. So I would almost rather her do it almost as her own voice. Like, am I making any sense here?
Oh, totally.
I
totally get it, and I agree with you, because I don't want everyone who ever does Harley to just do an Arlene Sorkin impression.
Right.
You know, like, Harley's been around long enough. There have been enough versions of her that you can do a spin on it, just like Joker voices. You know, we've heard many different Joker voices over the year. Not everybody has to try and sound like the same. Arlene Sorkin just put such a stamp on the character and made that voice so distinctive. I feel like it took a little time for people to even be brave enough to break away from it. But I think now it has happened. Margot Robbie did break away from it. Melissa Rauch did. And now Kaylee Cuoco is. And I think that's okay, because there's still enough Harley in there, but make it your own thing. Have fun with it. And it just, I feel like the more versions you get of a character, the more, I don't know, it just makes the character somehow feel a little more ingrained in pop culture, if that makes sense. You know, it feels like that character is just more of a mainstay in the cultural zeitgeist if you just get more versions that, instead of it just being, oh no, that's the one way we see Harley Quinn. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, I think that's spot on.
So, of course, I'm going to watch the show. Please bring in Batman as much as you like. I love Bader doing it, and he loves the character so much that it just makes me happy. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what this show's going to be. And doesn't she say something about, like, it's going to be full of violence and things like that?
Yeah, like gratuitous violence or something to that effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure, and I've never seen it, but I'm just drawing conclusions from what I've heard. I'm sure this is basically going to be, I mean, they even reference it in this trailer. It's going to be like what probably the Deadpool animated series was going to be.
Right. Oh, and don't they make a dig about it? Didn't they make a dig about it?
They said,
like, it's actually
the Deadpool
happening.
Animated series, this is happening or something like that.
Okay, I'll be honest. I watched it last week, but I did not watch it again in prep for this episode. So it's all coming back to me slowly but surely. But yes, that's right. I do remember that, which is pretty great.
If I don't mind having a thing or two out there that does this. It's not my particular taste or my cup of tea, where it's we're going to poke fun at everything. It's just going to be, hammy, silly, crazy. It's fine for small doses, which, maybe in a 20 to 30 minute episode animated series, it's going to work better for me. I'm going to give it its fair chance and whatnot, but it's this, of all the things they've announced on the original programming, this is by far my least interesting thing to my own taste.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm way more interested in Swamp Thing, Titans, Young Justice Season 3. I'm way more interested in all that. Doom Patrol. I've never even read a Doom Patrol comic. I don't even know who the Doom Patrol is. I'm more interested in that than I am a Harley Quinn series. But I'll watch it. I'll give it a chance. And if it makes me laugh or triggers whatever response they're wanting to trigger out of me, great. But I'm not anticipating it's going to be something they're making for me. So, but not everything needs to be for me. They've got an entire app for all these things for people to read and watch and everything else. Have at it. Knock yourselves out. I just don't want an entire universe based on this kind of stuff is what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're going to have to vet it before you show the kids.
Yeah, I sure am.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. That'll be fun. But I like what I've seen. I'm down. But it's funny that they took a little dig at Deadpool in that, because today, I don't know if you saw this, a little promo for Titans came out where they quoted Deadpool 2, where he says, "You're so dark. Are you sure not from the DC universe?" And then it shows like Robin kicking ass. And then it says something like, "Respectfully suck it, Mr. Poole, DC universe."
First things first, that's got to be the flattest, lamest, most unoriginal joke I think I've ever heard, because that basically sounds like what I've heard the internet say for the last, Chuck's watch, 5 years. So I can't believe they actually wrote that into a movie, but at the same time, that's kind of funny that they threw his own shit back in his face. So
yeah, I mean, it's just a little promo like that I just saw on Twitter before we started recording. It's like a 10 or 15 second little promo.
Well, that's good for Ryan Reynolds that they did that, because now they have an entire script for Deadpool 3 ready to go just based on that, I'm sure. In case people didn't know.
So wait, I'm sorry. You're mad at the Deadpool joke, or you're mad at the Titans joke?
No, the fact that they even bothered to make that joke in a Deadpool movie, apparently.
Yeah.
So
it was in the trailer.
Now that they're going to have some kind of a social media war going back and forth, because I'm sure Reynolds ain't going to take that laying down.
Right.
I was just making the joke that, there's the script for Deadpool 3 now.
Yeah. Well, and I bet that's what they were doing. They were baiting him. Because he always does
both
respond.
Sides, because if they get into some kind of a flame war on Twitter, I mean, even if they're just nudging each other, it's not even something that's done with any malicious intent. They might be just enjoying it on both sides. It's gonna perk up everybody's interest in how the other one's gonna go back. It's like what I used to say, like with Kool Moe Dee and LL Cool J back in the 80s. This is you young pups. You can switch away for a second. They always used to have these things where they'd be back and forth at each other, or even later on Dr. Dre and Eazy-E and Ice Cube and all those guys. I never bought for a minute that these things were anything more than these guys behind the scenes saying, here's how we're going to sell more albums. We're going to fight on our album. We're going to say things about you. And then on your album, you're going to say things about me. And, you know, everybody sells more albums because everybody wants to hear what the next response is going to be.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, it's, you know, it's like wrestlers trash talking each other.
Exactly. Right.
But yeah, I mean, I do think that, like, number one, yeah, I like the little like I didn't mind the joke in Deadpool 2. I do think it was a little on the nose, but I'm like, Deadpool's an equal opportunity offender. That's why I let it slide. I don't mind it. But I think it's funny that DC Universe was like, all right, we're gonna ride with this. We're gonna have fun with it. Like, because, yeah, it's like, you know, get a little attention. Maybe if they're lucky, Ryan Reynolds will respond, and it becomes this fun little back and forth, and it gets them attention. So I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, if it works for you, great. Deadpool. Look, I canceled a comic, not last week, but the week before. I canceled a comic off my pull list because Deadpool showed up for the second issue in a row, and I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy the Deadpool comics, but I enjoyed both movies. Anyway, I thought that was fun. I was just going to call that out real quick. But we also got another look at Titans because we got another trailer for it. Because we are now 4 days away from the launch of Titans, and I can't wait.
I earlier today, I thought they pulled it again, the early launch thing, because I was going through my app update things, and DC Universe was one of them. And it said at the last line of it, it says now featuring original content. And I'm like, oh God, they loaded Titans on there, and that's what this update is. So I loaded the update real quick and went on there, and no Titans. Just
liars.
Yeah.
So, but it's coming soon. It's coming Friday.
I may not even have time to watch it before, you know, anything happens on Friday, but
dude, I have the same problem. I have plans all weekend. I don't know if I'm going to get to it this week. I mean, I guess Saturday during the day, maybe I can watch it. But yeah, I definitely Friday. I'm shot.
Depending on what time they release it, I can possibly watch it after I drop the kids off at school. You know, like hold my phone outside the shower and watch it through there as I'm getting cleaned up for work or something.
I would recommend not that.
Well, you know, you got to make these things work wherever they fit.
I feel like there are better options for you, Jamie.
Well, I'm not one of those people that has a TV in their shower. You know, I'm not one of those highfalutin folks. So
I wasn't going to do this, but let me tell you, I because it's actually applicable. Do you know why I cannot watch Titans on Friday?
I would guess that you're going to like Halloween Horror Nights or something cool like that.
You're getting warmer. What I am going to is the Warner Brothers Horror Made Here Halloween event on the Warner Brothers lot.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds magnificent.
So, yes, it's called Horror Made Here. It is on their lot. It is a huge Halloween party, and they have many Halloween experiences to enjoy. And they're doing a Conjuring maze, or a Conjuring haunted house. For those of you who don't follow haunts, haunted houses they'll call mazes. Same difference. There's a Conjuring maze. There is a Freddy and Jason maze. There is an It maze. There is an Exorcist experience, but I'm leading up to the reason that there was no way I was going to miss this event, because there is an Arkham Asylum maze.
Oh.
Yeah. Where the Joker has taken over Arkham Asylum, and we get to go through it. So when I heard they were doing this...
This is happening on Friday, because I don't know if I can book a plane ticket that fast, but I might.
If you would like to... We would love to have you. But yeah, you apparently the Joker's taken over Arkham, and it is an experience through Arkham Asylum. And when they announced this, I was like, well, there's no way I'm missing that. So on our next episode, whenever that might be, I'm going to tell you what it was like visiting Arkham Asylum.
And I'm going to sit here and cry because I didn't go.
I am so excited. Yeah, apparently also they drive you out into the woods for the Friday the 13th experience.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently. I've just heard bits and pieces, but I cannot wait. That is my plans Friday, so Titans got to wait till Saturday morning with my Saturday morning coffee.
that might be worth putting Titans on the back burner for 24 hours.
Yeah. So super excited about that. Anyway, Titans new trailer. Did you check it out?
I did.
I feel
just
like,
to be clear, because we haven't been good at communicating lately, and that's because both of us are the busiest mother effers in the planet right now. This was the one that kind of basically features on Raven and where she's at and what's going on with her. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure I watched the right one.
Yes, sounds like we did, and that's good, because I definitely did have the fear that there might have been another one out, because apparently there are some shorter promos, and I haven't watched them, but I was like, oh no, I hope Jamie didn't go to the wrong one, or so. Yes, good. It is the Raven one.
I was surprised there were 3 trailers, because you were like, okay, there's a new Titans trailer just watch, so watch that, and I'm like, okay, so I'm on Google, and I'm like, Titans trailer, and I click the thing, and then I hit videos. And there's 14 freaking Titans trailers on there. And I'm like, what did I miss? This explode.
Yeah.
I watched the first trailer and then I watched this one tonight. I haven't watched anything in between.
There've been a lot of little short things, kind of like that Jason Todd thing that we talked about. There's been a lot of little short things like that. I know there's one that's meet Robin, meet Starfire, meet Beast Boy, and but I didn't watch those. I just haven't had time. But this one, I was like, oh, there's actually a full trailer that I think we need to watch. But what I think is that both with the first trailer that we got at Comic-Con back in July and then this new one that we just got, these all feel like they're from the first episode or two. Because Starfire is always in that one dress. She hasn't changed clothes. And there's no Hawk and Dove yet. And I know Hawk and Dove are going to show up pretty soon, because they're Hawk and Dove. So I feel like we're only getting glimpses from the first episode or two right now.
If so, then that's mighty considerate of them.
I know. I love that.
Especially considering they're doing that format where you only get one episode a week. So, I mean, it's not like... First of all, I know a lot of people are still kind of tense about that whole not following the Netflix model so you can binge the whole thing. But understand that for people that are really busy, that can't take days off of work to watch a series the day it comes out or something like that, this benefits me greatly, because I have shows that I watch with my family on the DVR and such, and being a busy time of year. I mean, October is my busiest month of the year, and then a few weeks later, after I get to catch my breath, then the holidays kick in with Thanksgiving and then Christmas, and it's going to be a whirlwind till 2019. So I appreciate the fact that I can't really get spoiled on more than one episode. If I wait till Monday or Tuesday and I'm surfing on Facebook or Twitter or something and somebody spoils something for me, that's on me at that point. But at least I can't get the whole bloody series spoiled for me, the second day that it's out.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
no, I have no issue with the weekly release. It forces us to be patient. Good. We all got plenty of other stuff to do. Let's enjoy it over the long haul.
And if, at $5 to $8 a month for this app that has some really glorious content on it, I can find some other way to justify the cost in between those episodes. So I got no issue there either.
There's tons of stuff. But back to the trailer itself. What'd you think?
I think they've tripled down on the darkness tone, and you know what? I'm good. I'm fine with that. I prefer a darker tone in most of my stuff anyway. So. I think it looks good. I like this trailer better than I like the first trailer that I watched.
Okay. I mean, I think, yes, it's very dark, but I also think that you get some glimpses in this trailer that still feels, it feels like it's a little more balanced than maybe the first trailer led us to believe. I feel like you get a little more balance in tone in this new trailer. So for people who are worried it was going to all just be nothing but darkness, I wasn't concerned about it in the first place. I was fine with it. But this just feels like there's more going on there. Getting the introduction to Beast Boy and Starfire, seeing them all just kind of come together and stand together is pretty exciting. But yeah, I mean, if you're making the crux of this first season Raven and her other dimensional demon father, it's gonna be a little dark. They're really leaning into that demonic aspect, but with Raven, you kind of should.
Agreed.
And I did love the part, I think it was Beast Boy, where he's like, "That's Robin." Because that would be me.
No,
But
I dug what I saw. Beast Boy as the tiger, I think looks pretty good from what I gathered. And, I still don't have any issue with the way Starfire looks or what I've seen of whatever costume it is that she's wearing with the coat over the top of it. I did actually see one thing in this with the Robin and Starfire kind of making a love connection there.
Yeah,
I appreciate that because
as well
that's
they should,
obviously
of course.
something that is a big part of their history. I just really, I'm just, my one wish list with it is, because I haven't seen anything with Starfire other than what was in the first trailer and this trailer. I hope they don't shy away from her like alien origins and her, I don't know if fish out of water is the right thing to call it, where she's just a little bit off balance being on Earth. Like, we talked about it with the Teen Titans Go to the movies, where she has just a little bit of a funny speech pattern. If you can give me a little bit of something like that without getting hammy about it, that would be great. So, but I'm not seeing anything that outside of the Batman thing in the first trailer, which I'm just really over at this point because that's so long ago now. The shock value's worn off.
Yeah,
that puts me off about the show. I'm interested to see what they're going to give me, and I'm not expecting it to be a direct adaptation. I'm expecting them to kind of take some creative liberties with it, as they do anytime they adapt something to a screen from a comic book. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Me too. I can't wait. I think it looks great. And the other thing I was going to say is I feel like the scope feels pretty impressive. It doesn't feel like it got shuttled off to a streaming service. It feels like a really high budget show.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like
seeing.
they cut any corners with this.
Right, exactly. It doesn't look or feel cheap, I guess is the less the less whatever, the less nice way of saying it. It just doesn't feel cheap.
It almost not quite, not exactly, but not far off, feels pretty cinematic as I've watched the two trailers.
Yeah, absolutely. And WB's all in on it. Apparently they just decorated the lot over here with Titans posters. I've seen the pictures online. I haven't driven over there myself to see it because I'm going Friday. Rub a little salt on that wound.
You say that again, I'm just going to hang up.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
So when I go there on Friday, I'm going to be sure to look when I'm there on Friday for those Titans posters on Friday.
I'm going to drown my sorrows in my pumpkin spice pretzels now, thanks.
You should. So, yeah, like I've seen photos online. Minka Kelly, who's playing Dove, she tweeted it out, and I retweeted it from the Holy BatCast Twitter, just because she was excited to see a huge poster of herself as a superhero on the side of the Warner Brothers lot, as anybody would be. So that's promotion they usually save for only their biggest films, and the fact that they're doing it with Titans is pretty awesome.
Sounds like it.
So yes, I got to go over there and take a look, take some photos, post them. Super psyched. So yeah, Titans coming up in a couple of days. And then coming up in time for Christmas is Aquaman. And there started being some rumblings early last week that we were going to get some more Aquaman goodies. And at that time, I didn't even realize New York Comic Con was coming up. And so I was like, why does everybody think there's something Aquaman coming this week? And then I figured it out. That was why. So the first thing we got was an awesome new Aquaman poster, where it's like the surface of the water and Aquaman's arm is coming out of the water holding the trident. Did you see the poster, Jamie?
I did, and I made my own little tweet with the poster on it, and apparently I'm not as clever and as original as I thought I was, because apparently like 9,000 people made the same conclusion drawn from what I said.
Was it like the Excalibur thing?
I did. I said, well, you can't have King Arthur without Excalibur. And I thought I was all kinds of clever and cool with that. No, I was like last to the game with that one.
It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. I just knew I had seen a similar image to that before. It feels like a very classic Aquaman image. And so I just loved the use of that for a poster.
It's one of the better posters I've seen from any of the DC movies, in fact. Mm-hmm.
No, it's great. I love it.
It's so simple. It's not oversaturated with a bunch of characters or colors or anything else. It's a nice, bright good-looking, solid, standout poster. I mean, it's one I would hang on my wall, assuming the movie isn't trash.
Right. It's funny, though, because a couple days before we got that poster, James Wan tweeted out, it was like this new statue of Aquaman. And it was Aquaman in the classic orange and green costume. And James Wan said, oh my God, this is amazing. Something about, it was a dream come true to get, it might have been like a Sideshow collectible or something. Like, it was a dream come true to get a Sideshow collectible made of one of my movies. But then he ended the tweet with like, though I cannot confirm that Jason Momoa will wear the classic costume. And I was like, James Wan, you're adorable and I love you and I think you're amazing. I'm thinking about being you for Halloween. You're the best. But who do you think you're fooling? Everybody knows he's going to wear the classic costume at this point. We've already seen like how many pieces of merchandise and promo art of Jason Momoa in the orange costume. I don't think you're fooling anybody, but I appreciate the attempt. And then a couple days later, this poster comes out where the arm of Aquaman is definitely in the orange and green.
Well, I mean,
so
up to
his
that
ruse
point,
did
like,
not last long. I don't appreciate your ruse, James Wan. Your cunning
I'm
attempt to...
still waiting to see Lex Luthor in the power suit as per the Target exclusive toy set from BVS. So.
Yeah, I know. Release the power suit cut.
Oh, God. Oh.
So, yeah, we get that poster, which I think is glorious. I think it's fantastic. I love it. I don't know. I feel like the WB DC posters have all been pretty awesome, and these are no different. They're just unique. I don't know. Like, there's just something not standard about them, if that makes any sense, and I love that about it. And then we got the new trailer. So, way back in July, I told you all about the extended look at Aquaman that we got to see that was like so much better than the theatrical trailer that they released, and I gave you a breakdown of it. And now I'm so excited because the whole world now gets to enjoy it, because that's what they did. They released the 5-minute trailer that we saw back at Comic-Con in July. They released it at New York Comic-Con, and then they released it to the masses so everyone could see it. Because even when I watched it in July, I was like, okay, that first trailer was good. But I wish everyone could see the long one because it's just so much better. And so now it's out there. And Jamie, you were kind of protesting watching it, even though I gave you a beat-by-beat breakdown of it back in July.
Yeah, I know. You can thank our pal Jeremy for that, Mr. Well, they gave away an entire action sequence. Like the minute he said that, I'm like, nope, I ain't touching this thing. But then I broke down and I watched it because somebody made me, and I really don't think they gave away a whole action sequence there.
They gave you a chunk of an amazing action sequence that makes me want to throw money at them so I can see the whole damn action sequence. That's what they gave me.
Look, I watched this trailer one time. I watched Black Manta's debut in this trailer like 7 times. Because holy shnikes, does he look good.
Okay, so I just want to say this. I want to put it on the record, okay? They could not have designed a more perfect live-action Black Manta. It is perfect. Perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. It's the best looking costume I think I've ever seen. I'm like, there's nailed it, and then there's this. This is like hashtag nailed it, all in caps with multiple exclamation points and some emojis of like fireworks and explosions and fire. It's
what you're
perfection.
telling me is, and I'm surprised to hear this, but I'm going to confirm it right now. What you're telling me is you like Black Manta's cinematic costume better than you like Cap's costume in Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
That was absolute sarcasm there, because I seem to remember us having discussions time and time again. There's no goddamn red on that costume.
Because I was bitter about the lack of red. He's Captain America, red, white, and blue. Come on, people. But they make it okay at the end of the movie when he gets his old costume back, and I'm like, yay! Then
that movie's so good. It's so
made me so happy. So I was fine with it. But yes, Black Manta, the design is perfection. Bravo. Bravo, James Wan. Bravo, the production designer. Bravo, the costume designer. You nailed it. I love you. I couldn't ask for more.
And see, I watched that on my phone, and it looked incredible. I can only imagine what that looks like on a full-size screen.
And it's funny when you said you hadn't watched it. I was like, "What the hell's the matter with you?" And I know sometimes you go, "Oh, I'm waiting to get home to watch it on the big screen." I thought that's what you were doing, but no, you were just being a silly head.
But I don't think I ever fully pieced together that this was the footage that you described to me. And besides that, I'm old and forgetful, so I forgot like half the shit you described to me. Boy.
You don't even remember what we talked about in July.
Look, I watched this trailer, yesterday, and I've forgotten half of it. So it's a good thing for me sometimes. But no, I think it looks great. Have I mentioned how good Black Manta looks in this trailer?
You can mention it again. I don't mind.
Okay, because wow.
Yeah, he looks amazing. And did you see, okay, speaking of, and I heard a little bit of rumblings about like, oh, they gave away too much. Did you see James Wan responded? This is why he's my favorite. This is why he's my idol.
Hang on, let me get comfortable so I can settle in and listen. Go ahead.
Well, now I want to actually get the I was going to paraphrase it, but now I feel like I need to actually read you the tweet because it's amazing. Because James Wan is the best. And he always does this. Like, when people throw shit at him, he, like, stands up for himself. And I freaking love it. He's the best. Because remember when, like, everyone thought there was going to be a trailer at WonderCon, and he responded. He goes, "Hey, there is no reason for anyone to believe there was a trailer at WonderCon. Sorry, it's not ready. I love you guys, but it's not ready." He's just the best. He could have ignored it. He doesn't ignore it. So here's what he said. He said, "Trailers contain spoilers by nature. So if you don't want anything spoiled, don't see it. But I can say this 5-minute trailer barely scratches the surface of the actual movie." I love you, James Wan. You're the best.
You can't even be mad at that.
It's true.
I ain't.
Like, every trailer spoils something because it has to. And so, yeah, getting chunks of that action scene, I get it. But, oh, my God. So this is the other thing I was going to say. So I told you about it in July. Now everybody's gotten to see the glory of it. That extended shot, like starting by following that like Atlantean warrior from behind as he crashes through the walls, and then eventually the camera pans out of the village and then catches up with Mira as she's jumping from rooftop to rooftop, and then it comes out again until it eventually catches up with Arthur, who's on top of this bell tower, and it's just so good. And it's very James Wan. Is it a little show-offy? Absolutely, but I'm okay with that. Show off, James Wan. I got your back. But one of my favorite things that I saw was, I think it was Stephen DeKnight, who did Daredevil, and I think he did Pacific Rim Uprising.
Okay.
He's director, showrunner, Stephen DeKnight, someone, and I feel like his name has been bandied about for like DC stuff. I feel like it's been out there. But someone asked him, like, what's your honest opinion of the Aquaman trailer? And he said, "Loved it. That chase scene put all of us in the biz to shame." Boom. I just love that. Because it's true. Good. You watch that, and you're like, dude, you're just showing off. But it's amazing. It's so good. But yeah, I mean, you get chunks of story in the trailer. You definitely get action beats in the trailer, and then you get you get a little bit of extended sequences to get a better feel for the movie. You got to see.
As I recall, you did describe the sequence where they go into the temple or wherever it is that they're at. Yeah. You described it very much as like the Fifth Element.
Yeah.
I totally see where that's coming from now. It's so much so that I'm not too sure this isn't some sort of a homage to the Fifth Element.
Right. Well, and it's one of those things where while the movie was shooting, James Wan said, he goes, "Yeah, I'm kind of inspired by Raiders of the Lost Ark." And I was like, well, for an Aquaman movie? And I didn't make the connection. And then you see that sequence and you go, oh, like, yeah, you're literally like in a tomb, like raiding a tomb. And I totally got that feel, that like cool swashbuckling adventurous feel from that sequence in the temple. And then, whatever this chase sequence in the village that comes later. it has that really fun, adventurous tone, which I love.
Absolutely.
You get more seahorses. I think they call them sea dragons because it sounds cooler.
Yeah,
sea dragons and
sea dragon
sharks.
sounds much more burly.
Yeah, but you get the sea dragon army versus the shark army, which is just amazing. You get more looks of Atlantis. You get a little bit of the chemistry between Arthur and Mera. Mera using her water powers,
which I think is a really cool concept. I love it when people think creatively to use power sets like that. Years ago, I read a comic where I think Magneto killed somebody by solidifying the iron in their blood. That sort of thing. Just
right.
I think, oh, wow, nobody's ever done that before, so I think it's really cool. And I've seen bits and pieces in comics where she's done things like that, where she's dehydrated people and such. And it's cool. It's just a really well thought out way to show off how powerful that she is once again. Which brings me to the one negative thing I do have about this trailer. I could have really done without I could have just peed on it line. That just feels a little...
I remember telling you that, and you kind of groaned in July. I remember that. And
it sounds like something I would groan at every time I would hear it.
And a fair amount of people didn't care for the joke either. For me, I laughed at it in July. I get why some people don't think it's funny. I don't think it's the best joke ever, but whatever. You win some, you lose some. But I get it. You get a little glimpse.
Him doing the whole... what did he say? Something trident. That's it's not my particular style, but I don't feel like that's so far over the top that I had to roll my eyes at it. The peeing on it thing, I rolled my eyes at that, but not so much the something trident bit. That's I get where they're going. I get the tone setting. James Wan has a fair amount of humor in most of his movies, even the ones that should be borderline humorous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's like funny parts in The Conjuring,
exactly,
and Insidious, yeah. So yeah, I had no issue with that. What I was gonna say is you got a little glimpse of Queen Atlanta kicking some ass.
You can give me that all day, every day, and I'm cool with it.
I love that.
Go ahead and just give me like a prequel short, like a 5-minute prequel short of Atlanta and Mera back to back fighting people.
I know. Well, I don't have high hopes for Queen Atlanta in this movie.
I'm guessing she's not going to make it very far into it.
Based on the conversation in Justice League. But she still looks awesome. But I was thinking about it. I was thinking about like Man of Steel. Lara was badass at the beginning of Man of Steel. Martha was badass in Man of Steel, standing up to the Kryptonians. Hippolyta, of course, was a total badass in Wonder Woman. We've got Atlanta being a badass. I just like the badass mothers of the DC universe. I love it.
Well, we all know this is my favorite thing, so I mean, yeah, that.
I know,
absolutely.
I know. It's like I know you're like your favorite moment in Wonder Woman is when Hippolyta leaps off that horse and does spin with the sword.
The hair on my body raises every single time I watch that shot.
It's so good. It's so good. And then this is like the Aquaman equivalent of that. So I knew you'd be all about it. It's great. I just wish I wish Martha Wayne had a scene in BVS where she punched Joe Chill before getting shot. She shoved the pearls down his throat right before he kills her.
Well, I mean, you could make the argument that she turned into a bat creature and busted through a wall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
I mean, that's a hell of a reach, but, why not?
But yeah, so I love that Queen Atlanta gets a little action moment. And I like that, again, that shows that she probably has more going on in the movie. Because it's one of those things where like, well, she's just going to be in the prologue, but I think we're going to get more of that. I freaking love this trailer. I've watched it numerous times. Makes me very happy. The scope of the film looks amazing. I think the effects, are great. I think that might be the other reason that they released this, even though it was already done in July, is because maybe, they're still working on the rest of the movie. So I wonder if they were like, well, that one we already know we're done, or it's done enough that it's ready to release. Yeah, and the the chase sequence and Orm talking to He-Man underwater.
Oh yes.
We get King Nereus for just a quick hot second.
I've been a fan of Dolph Lundgren for years. I think the guy is. I don't think he's like, Shakespearean caliber actor or anything like that, but I always enjoy him in pretty much everything I see. Like, have you ever seen Johnny Mnemonic, that movie that came out?
I never have, no.
Okay. I don't care for the movie. It's worth watching for him. And, some of even the weird independent stuff he's done, like he did much the same thing that some of these other guys did, where he basically created his own production company and went over to like Europe and just started cranking out these B movies on direct-to-video releases. And he's having a ham-fisted good time with every single one of them he does. Like, he doesn't make any apologies because he knows the movies he's making and he's just having fun with it. So I appreciate that. And the guy is a genius-level intellect and a hell of an accomplished martial artist and fighter. So I got nothing but love for that guy.
He's the coolest. Did you ever hear the story of like someone broke into his house and saw the photos on like the mantle and realized whose house he had broken into, and so he left?
No, but that doesn't surprise me at all, and that's the smartest thing he could have possibly
That's amazing.
done.
Like, look it up. I swear that's a real story, and I just think it's great.
He's magnificent. He's
I
one of those guys
this.
I would just sit there and listen to with like wide-eyed attentiveness. And then we get to see him in Creed 2 later on this year.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that comes out at Thanksgiving, so we get him in that before we get him in this.
That's true. Double dose of Dolph.
You can't have too much.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'll agree with that.
Come closer. I don't want nobody to hear this. I really like his Punisher movie too.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not.
I mean, it's not a great movie, but I've always enjoyed it.
I watched it back in 1989, 90. I watched it. He was good. They just should have gave him the skull shirt. How hard is that?
The comic book adaptation, he got it.
Psh, come on.
Yeah,
Anyway,
like Jesus. I don't know what to tell you.
so we get so all right. So we got a reveal of Black Manta, who looks amazing. We get a reveal of a lot of stuff, and we're getting plenty of Orm. You get more of that Orm Arthur fight, which honestly looks just really awesome. Like that underwater fight between the two of them with the tridents looks so cool. And when they're kind of essentially like flying at each other underwater, looks so good. But we've not gotten Orm in his Ocean Master helmet. Still waiting on that.
You know it's got to be there.
Oh, I know it's coming, but they're holding a little back. But the big reveal at the end of the trailer is a thing of glorious beauty.
Yeah, it's all right, I guess.
All right, well, goodbye, Jamie. I'm hanging up now.
It's much shinier than I expected, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It's just wow. I had to pause it and put sunglasses on to continue. It does look good though. I mean, if you dig that classic Aquaman look, I mean, short of him having blonde hair, that's about as close as you're going to get.
I know. That's my only thing that and it's just me being nerdy, is just like, I just want to give him a haircut so he could like be right off the page. But that's just me. I'm not going to split hairs. But no, the suit, holy shit. The suit, like a perfect note to end the trailer on. The suit, the orange and the green, it looks great. It looks perfect. Apparently, some people say it's too faithful. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you an insane person? I cannot disagree more. It is so good.
I got no complaints about it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think
Fun fact, the grapevine, the rumor of it is that they did actually ask him to cut and dye his hair. And he just looked at the producer that asked him to do that and said, "You've seen the video with me throwing axes, right?"
Oh, yeah?
Okay, so that one didn't land. God damn it, I'm tired. I can't be funny when I'm tired.
Well, for a second, I thought you were telling a real story. But
no, just a bad joke. Carry on.
It's all good. It's all good. I can, again, I mean, he's had the long hair and the beard in the comics plenty of times for plenty of years, so it's not unfaithful.
At least he doesn't have the hook hand thing going on.
That's true. Wait for the sequel.
Ugh. That's a look I can do without, but anyway.
Yeah, I like Aquaman to have both hands. It's fine. So, yeah, full glorious reveal of Aquaman in all his glory. It's going to be so good. I cannot wait. So it's what I tweeted out. It's going to be the best Christmas present this year.
The toys are all out too, by the way, if you haven't seen those.
I haven't seen them in the wild because I haven't been to the store because
I had a Black Manta
2018.
action figure in my hand yesterday while my son was shopping with his birthday money, and I'm like, huh? He's like, Nerf gun. I'm like, okay.
I'd go to Toys R Us, but it's not a thing.
Target, man, that's where it's at.
Target. I need to go to Target. Maybe I'll go to
They've
Target.
actually got Target's got just like they did with BVS, they've got like the 4 12-inch figures or 5 12-inch figures in the pack that's exclusive just to Target for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got Aquaman, Mera, Orm, Manta. That might be it in this one. I didn't pick that one up. I was too busy staring at the Black Manta action figure.
Yeah.
Which also looks great, by the way.
Of course it does. Same design. Oh, I want it. Okay, I want them. And you get to build a trench, one of the members of the trench. That's the Build-A-Figure for the nice ones, the multiverse figures. But yeah, I need to run to Target, but I don't need to be buying more toys, but they're so cool.
And then you need to find a Spirit Halloween shop and go get your Aqua Hero tattoos.
Oh my God, I cannot wait.
I broke down crying laughing when I saw that yesterday going through that Halloween store.
Aqua Hero, it's great.
It was magnificent. The mishmash of body parts that are on the front of that thing. And here's the dumb part about it. It was in the superhero. They had a whole aisle that was nothing but superhero costumes. So of course there's Deadpool and there's Spider-Man and Batman and everybody's in here, right? So there's an entire section of Aquaman, licensed Aquaman stuff, and smack dab in the middle of that is this Aqua Hero tattoo set. It was the only non-licensed Aquaman piece in that section.
Well, maybe they should have made licensed Aquaman tattoos, but now you got to get Aqua Hero tattoos.
I was trying to find Jason Momoa's shirt, but it was nowhere to be seen.
Well, maybe sometime soon. I just love what you said about, and there was an Aquaman section. I love that we live in a world where for the next 6 months, when I go to stores, there's going to be an Aquaman section.
Mm-hmm.
What a time
there's
we
an
live in.
There's an Aquaman toy section at Target. There's an Aquaman section in the costume aisle at your local Halloween pop-up store that shows up for about 40 days a year and then disappears as Halloween goes away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you guys have those out there too. That can't be a regional thing.
We do, but we also have a glorious all year round Halloween store.
Oh, what that must be like.
It's called Halloween Town. Free shout out to Halloween Town in Burbank, California on Magnolia. It's the best place. And so all year round, when I need a little taste of Halloween, I'll go to Halloween Town and go walk around a bit. Maybe buy something.
Now I want to go. Well, God, you're killing me with this.
Hey, man, come out this weekend. We'll go to Halloween Town. We'll watch Titans. We'll go to Arkham Asylum. We're going to have a great time.
Famous
we'll
last
drink
words.
pumpkin
Come out
spice
to the coast.
lattes.
We'll get together, have a few laughs.
You know it, brother. You know it. Anyway, any additional thoughts on the extended trailer for Aquaman, Jamie?
I am ready to see this film immediately. Unfortunately, I still have to wait like another 2 months, roughly. But that's true. Okay. Good things come to those who wait, they say.
Yeah.
We've waited this long. We're in the final wind down. My one mandate for this, and this is non-negotiable, no more trailers. I don't want to see another damn thing for this movie until I sit down and watch the movie.
No more wire trailers. Yeah, I do wonder about that. I wonder, like, will they take this long one and do like a 2.5 minute version, and then that'll play in theaters?
I would think you could make a heck
I think
of a
that
trailer
that
out
would
of
be
this by cutting
smart.
it down. I mean, just cut
I
out
think, yeah,
big portions of that action sequence, and you could do it. Really.
yeah, and the temple sequence, like that would make sense. Is you would do a 2 minute or 2.5 minute version of this long one and release that in theaters, because you're right. If you come out with another new one, then it's that much more new material you've got to find.
Right.
And there's plenty of good stuff in this.
If that's what they want to do, I can live with that. But I don't want to see anything else fresh at this point.
Right. Well, we'll see. I don't know if you're going to get that lucky. I feel like they're going to do some sort of last push. Comes out December 21st. I feel like they're going to do some like last push right before Thanksgiving, and where everyone's in theaters seeing Thanksgiving movies, they probably want a new trailer in theaters by then. Just making a guess.
Maybe that's when they should release the cut down version of this one then. I don't know.
Perhaps.
This is why they don't leave me in charge of marketing. I don't get people hyped up.
Well, you'd have no trailers.
That's true. I wouldn't.
And as my friend James Wan said, and he is my friend because I have a photo with him, I can prove we're friends. Trailers have spoilers by nature.
It's true. I mean, if you've seen any bit of it, it's technically a spoiler. So
that is true. So super exciting. Again, I love that they released it because it's a great extended trailer, and it's got people hyped. And that's what you need. Like, I feel like if that don't sell you on the movie, I can't help you.
Do you know how long it's been since I've seen an Aquaman joke anywhere?
I know. Pretty much since we changed your mind.
That's about right. That really is about right.
Yeah.
If my mind can be changed, anybody's mind can be changed.
It's good. So, exciting times. Aquaman, December 21st. In the meantime, watch that 5-minute trailer 100 times. I won't judge you. I support you. Do it. It's great. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Good things to look forward to. Titans this week. More DC Universe stuff coming. Aquaman. Birds of Prey keeps ramping up. Oh, that's the other thing. They say Rosie Perez is Montoya.
So why you want to bring the whole show down just like that, man?
Oh, is that what's going to happen?
We had a positive vibe going, and then you
sorry, is that what's going? Is that what's going to happen?
I am less than enthused about this particular selection. But to be fair, I hate Rosie Perez going all the way back to the days of White Men Can't Jump. So
I get that, especially because of that movie, and I'm trying to not, because she's a lot in that movie. She was
also in a Spike Lee movie that I saw part of too, and I didn't care for her in that. And then I saw her in something a couple years ago, and she seemed far more restrained. Like she didn't have that full-blown attitude thing happening, and her voice didn't seem quite as pissed off Hispanic friend dressurized as what I'm used to seeing it as. So I think she's capable of giving a more what's the right word I want to use? Not a laid back performance, just a dialed down performance.
Dialed down, that works.
Yeah. I think she's capable of doing that. So I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but as of right now, all I can think to myself was there weren't 6 other people right around the corner that you could have picked for this part that would have worked as well or better. But I'm not making this movie. I don't know what the vision they have in mind for it is. They picked her for a reason. So I tell people not to complain about the idea of Zachary Levi getting cast as Shazam and all these other things. So I can't be a hypocrite. I got to give it the benefit of the doubt and see what she turns into the movie. If it's great, then I'll be happily admit I was wrong in my prejudgment for it. And if it's not, then I'll certainly tell everybody I know about it.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting that they went older for Montoya because she is older now. And but it makes sense to kind of contrast what seemed like some very young Birds of Prey. So to go older with Montoya, I think that could be interesting. I feel like I've seen Rosie Perez in a more understated performance, and I think she's really good. I think she has the talent. I don't expect the obnoxious Rosie Perez as Montoya. So, as I said before, I'm easy when it comes to these casting things. So I was like, oh, interesting. Didn't see that coming, but cool. Great. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, point being, just lots of stuff coming, lots of stuff to look forward to, which is awesome. Something I always look forward to is hearing from you fine folks at home. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to check in with you guys as we crack open the Wayne Manor mailbox. It's time again for the Wayne Manor mailbox.
You've got mail.
Derek. What is a letter for me?
Maybe temporary.
She wrote a letter.
You're one hell of a messenger. This is all, Master Wayne.
All right, let's see what y'all have to say. And you got a lot to say because it's been a little while, and so these things pile up. All right, first message here is from Tommy Sanders. It says, "Greeting Holy BatCast family. Were the OnStar Batman commercials from 2000 a build-up and preview for the Birds of Prey TV show, or was WB testing the waters to make a new Batman movie?" Tommy, thanks for the message. Jamie, do you remember these commercials?
I do not, but didn't Birds of Prey come out in 99?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think it was 99. I feel like Birds of Prey came out in 2000 or 2001.
If only I had the DC Universe app on my phone to look at that.
Yeah. Hey, Jamie, why don't you check that out? Tommy, to answer your question, no and no. I think what happened is the
Birds
Batman
of Prey,
movies.
2002 to 2003, it says.
Well, there you go, 2002. The commercials, I don't think have anything to do with Birds of Prey or with a new Batman movie. I think what happened was in 2000, the Batman movies were dead. Nothing was going on. And OnStar wanted something that was going to get attention for them because they were kind of launching and trying to make an impact. And so they made a deal with WB, and WB had the stuff laying around. And I think that's what it was. It was just about OnStar being willing to pay WB to use Batman to get buzz. And I think it worked. Jamie, look up the OnStar commercials on YouTube when you get a chance. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I remember seeing
GM stuff.
those.
I'm a Ford guy. I can't do that.
Well, you're also a Batman guy, so watch them. They're like a little extension of the Batman 89 universe. They're awesome.
Okay.
Next question here comes from Joe Kingsley. It says, "Hey, Andy, Jamie, and possibly Gingzilla, the yappy Aussie. Gingzilla. He's not a ginger, is he?
I don't know.
Anyway, it says, "Having seen the new Joaquin Phoenix Joker footage, I really don't know how I feel. I'm not totally convinced by the look, but I can only imagine and hope that as the character develops, the Joker transforms into a more recognizable Joker, more akin to the Arkham Games Joker, which to me is the ideal interpretation, Heath Ledger notwithstanding, as that is the benchmark. Anyway, thanks for your thoughts. Joe from England." Joe, thank you for the message. We've talked a little bit about the Joaquin Phoenix footage. Jamie, anything you want to add here?
Nothing that I didn't say the last time.
Yeah, I'll just say what I said last time is I am certainly intrigued by the footage and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen, but I still don't believe that is his final Joker. I think that we have yet to see his final Joker, and I hope so. Like I hope it's a progression and an evolution. Next message here is from Pastor Jasmine. It says, "Greetings, guys. I've got two questions about Tim Curry as the Joker. Number one, would Tim Curry have been a great Joker, especially in Batman 89? And two, why did Tim Curry leave Batman the Animated Series after trying to voice the Joker?" Thank you, Pastor. And Jamie, thoughts on this?
I think he would have been a great Joker. I mean, I dig Tim Curry anyway. I mean, he can pull off over the top in ways that most people can't, where it's so far over the top it seems subtle. If that makes a lick of sense, like he's so unique in how he does some of those things. I think he really would have brought something fantastic to that character, and I'm kind of disappointed that we'll probably never get to see any rendition of that at this point. But I think it certainly would have been good.
No, I agree with you. I think live action, I think he would have been terrific. The story that they always tell about the animated series, they said it just wasn't working. They said it was just not what they were hoping for, and so it didn't work. I haven't gotten any more detail than that. I just remember that's kind of what Bruce Timm said, and that's why they had Mark Hamill audition. So yeah, it is one of those kind of like what ifs. I think he could have been great, and I do wonder if maybe somewhere out there is recordings of him doing the animated series Joker, because I'd be very curious as to hear what that would sound like. So thank you for the question. Next question here. It's like they heard us. It's from Douglas June, and it says, "Greetings, Holy BatCast family. In the Birds of Prey TV show from 2002, was the show supposed to take place after the events of the Burton Schumacher films?" Douglas, thanks for the message. Jamie, thoughts?
I always assumed it was just supposed to exist out on its own. I don't think I ever finished the series. I watched the first probably 4 or 5 episodes anyway as they aired, because back then there was no DVR, so you either video recorded the stupid thing or watched it live. I know savages, right? I never translated it as there being any tie to any cinematic universe. So
yeah, I agree. I think it was just its own thing, but because they used the Batman Forever suit for the Batman moments or the Batman flashbacks, I could see, like, in your head canon, yeah, you could probably tie it to those movies, but I don't think that was the intention. I think the intention
I would guess that's more of a budgetary thing, and the suit was already there on the lot to use.
I think that's exactly what it was. Is they're like, hey, here's what we've got, and they used that. Because I mentioned earlier that there's an episode where Dina Meyer does wear the Batgirl outfit, and I'm pretty sure it's Alicia Silverstone's, but they just recolored it and changed it a bit, but it looks like the same base outfit from Batman and Robin. So I think they were just saving money and using what they had.
No shame in that.
Yeah, it's understandable. At that time, it wasn't even the CW; it would have been the WB. So you're on the WB budget. Next message here is from Kim Wild. It says, "Hey, I'm currently working my way through the past seasons of Young Justice in preparation for Young Justice Outsiders. When I saw the first pictures of Joaquin Phoenix in clown makeup, I was reminded of a running joke that pops up throughout the series, and it completely captures my feelings towards the Joker movie as a whole. Consider me whelmed."
As soon as she said Young Justice, I knew that's exactly where that was going.
Yeah, kind of knew where she was going, but
that's
I get
okay.
it.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm on that wavelength with you. I got it. I
like that Young Justice has put the word whelmed into our geek lexicon.
It put it on the map.
Next message is from Condor Zalander. It says, "Hey, Holy BatCast family, would Batman and Robin have been a different movie if they had stuck with the original parts of the script where Poison Ivy murders Elle Macpherson's character, Julie Madison? They took that part out for the final cut of the film." I didn't know that. You ever heard that, Jamie?
I have not, and if that's the only difference, no, I don't think that would have made much of a difference in the film.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I've never heard that. I wonder if they actually shot it, because it is strange that halfway through that movie, Elle Macpherson just disappears. There's like no resolution for that character. She's in a couple scenes at the beginning and then she's gone. So
she's barely on the screen when she's on the screen, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not. All that aside, they never circle back around to that character. I never heard that, but do I think that all of a sudden that movie would be good? Nah, probably not. All right, next message here is from Jeremy Lloyd. It says, "Hey, Bat fans, looking at the current state of DC films and the cinematic universe, I'm beginning to wonder if we are starting to see a soft reboot. When I start looking at what films are on the way, I've got to wonder what will happen if some of them are very successful. The big elephant of the room is the Joaquin Phoenix Joker film. If that film is successful, I've got to wonder if WB/DC would use that version moving forward, especially with Batman getting somewhat rebooted as well. I also wanted to get your thoughts on the possibility of a Batman Beyond live-action film or series. It will never be my version of Batman, but I've always liked the concept and setting of the story that we got with the animated series. What are your thoughts?" Hey, Jeremy. All right, so a soft reboot for DC films. especially around the Joaquin Phoenix Joker and then a Batman Beyond movie. Jamie, thoughts?
I don't think the Joaquin Phoenix Joker has any play on it whatsoever. I think that's going to be a one-and-done film unless it's so tremendously bloody, ridiculous, successful that they throw a mint at him to do another one. But I don't think he wants to do any kind of commitment for anything more than a one-picture deal on this thing. I think that's why this movie exists in the fashion it does, is because they've been trying to get him involved in these movies, Marvel side, DC side, and everywhere else, and he just does not want to commit his time and effort and everything else to these enormous contracts that they require for these parts. I think that's the only reason why we don't have him as Doctor Strange. I think that's why this is where we're at with this Joker film. I don't think this film has any bearing on what they're going to do with the rest of the shared universe movies going forward. Soft reboot. I really think that any reboots to this point are all hinged on what's going to happen with Aquaman and Shazam. I think those are the two movies that are going to determine what's going to happen going forward. If those two are successful along the lines of Wonder Woman, and I'm not saying they have to make $800 million worldwide to truly be successful, but I mean to get good fan reaction, or I shouldn't say fan reaction, audience reaction, get good critical reaction. You know, I'm not saying it needs to be one of the biggest critical hits of the year or anything, but I mean just positive feedback from all sides and financial success. I think we're okay, and I think they'll stay the course, and I think they'll just keep going, and that's what we're going to get out of it. If either one, or God forbid, both of these movies struggles in any way, we've got a problem on our hands, and I expect the whole damn thing's going to get redone. That's just my own personal take. I've got no sources telling me this. I don't have any inside information to it. That's just my gut feeling that if Aquaman and or Shazam struggle, or especially if both struggle, it's going to be a grassroots redo, probably.
I agree with you on Joaquin Phoenix Joker. I think you're right. I think the reason he's doing it is because it's one and done. I think if it does well, I don't think it will affect the in-continuity movies. It'll just mean we'll get more of these one-offs. As far as the soft reboot of the DC universe, not yet. Because Aquaman directly tied to the connected universe, Shazam directly tied to the connected universe, and then Wonder Woman 1984 directly tied to the connected universe. So it's going to be a little while before they really wipe the slate clean. And as Jamie says, if some of these movies struggle, then you might see that happen, but I don't think it's happening yet. I do think they're sidestepping some of the things from the past, specifically Superman, which is disappointing. I wish they wouldn't, but right now we're still in the universe. And then as for Batman Beyond, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think someday we will get a Batman Beyond movie. I just don't know when that's going to be, but I think it's only a matter of time before that happens, because it's something that a lot of people like. It's still Batman. It could be new. It could be unique. So I think that, when they're looking for something like that, I totally expect them to make it.
Do you think it's a fair assessment in that? And this is something that just came to me, so I'll just ask you your opinion on it quick. That the people that grew up with Batman Beyond, the way that kind of just back in my, you're kind of the tail end of my generation. You grew up with Batman the Animated Series more so than I did even. And then, Batman Beyond was what, like 7 years later, 7 years later, at least after that.
Which obviously, I think it was 99. Yeah.
Okay. So we're not talking about like a full blown generational gap there, but like people that grew up with that as their Batman would just now be kind of coming into their own as, filmmakers per se. You see where my line of thought's going with that here? Like
sure.
The better shot would probably be in the next 5 to maybe 10 years, where somebody who grew up with that as their Batman, as it were, that right. Maybe that the big push would come from that to get that done, possibly.
No, that makes sense. Exactly. Like, we talk about like all the filmmakers who Star Wars inspired them to become filmmakers are now getting to make Star Wars films. Like a version of that,
Mm-hmm. Right.
People who grew up with Batman Beyond are now becoming players in the industry, and they're the ones, who are going to be like, hey, I want to do Batman Beyond because I grew up loving it. So, no, that makes sense to me. Moving on, next message is from Stuart Busire. It says, hey, Andy and Jamie, it's Stuart from Guernsey. This is a bit of a cheeky one. It isn't actually a Holy BatCast question. It's an RF4RM question. I know you guys haven't done many shows over the past few months, but please tell me you'll be back to review the new Halloween movie. I've heard you mention on several occasions that you're a massive John Carpenter fan. So am I. He is my all-time favorite film composer, so I was extremely hyped when I heard that he would be coming back to do the score. What are your top 3 Carpenter films? Mine are number 1, Escape from New York, number 2, Halloween, number 3, either Assault on Precinct 13 or They Live. It changes regularly. I'm intrigued to know what your top films of his are. Hope you guys are doing well. Stuart. Hey man, thank you. And that's okay. Yes, Real Fans is a little hibernating, but it'll come back. And I do think that the new Halloween movie might be a perfect time for that. Top 3 Carpenter films, Jamie.
Well, number 1 is Halloween, and number 2 isn't even close behind it. I mean, it's tied with Dawn of the Dead 78 for my favorite horror film of all time. It's in my top probably 25 or 30 overall all time. I absolutely adore Halloween. So that's easily my number 1. Past that, I don't know if I could narrow it down because it really just depends on the mood that I'm in. I do have a great affinity for Escape from New York. As it's not popular opinion, I also have a great affinity for Escape from LA, although I wouldn't put that one that high up on this list.
Escape from LA is awesome.
Okay, there we go.
And I'll fight you.
This is why we're brothers. Big Trouble in Little China, I think, is so underrated and so fantastic. I just rewatched Christine for the first time in years the other day, and that's a fantastic film there too.
It holds up.
Oh, it does.
It's so good.
It's
I rewatched
excellent.
it a few months ago for freaking Jeremy Lloyd's podcast. Listen to it or don't. I don't care.
I did listen to it. That's why I wound up watching it the other day.
But that movie is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say They Live is definitely in number 2 or 3. I don't know if I'd place it at 2 or at 3, but I definitely think it's up there because as far as I'm going through my head, which ones I rewatch the most and still enjoy the most, and that is definitely one of them that's up there. I don't know, man. I'd have to really put some thought into that, but there's so many. There's like 3 John Carpenter films that I don't want to watch. And 2 of those are The Ward. So.
Yeah. John Carpenter is my bro. I love him. He's one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. I love pretty much his entire filmography, honestly. Even the ones that people don't like Escape from LA or Ghosts of Mars. I still like them. Come at me. See if I care. John Carpenter's Halloween, number 1. Easily. Come on. It's in my top 10 films of all time, one of my favorite movies of all time, definitely my favorite horror movie of all time. It's a masterpiece. Number 2, The Thing.
God, how could I forget that? I'm so sorry. There you go. There's my top 3. Halloween number 1, Thing number 2, They Live number 3. There, done. Over.
Good. And my number 3, bit of a dark horse, but I freaking love it, and I think more people need to discover it, In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, that's so good.
It's so good.
I've only seen it like twice compared to some of these other ones I've seen a dozen or 2 dozen or 50 or whatever times, and it was probably 2 years ago for my Scare-a-thon. I rewatched it because I thought I haven't seen this since the theater, and I watched it and I was like, it must have been 2 years ago, and I was like, damn, why don't I watch this one more often?
Yeah, it's great.
Same thing with Prince of Darkness. I mean, Prince of Darkness gets no respect or no mentions, and every time I watch it,
it's a good movie too.
Why don't I watch this more?
Yeah. Carpenter, man, I'm all for it. So, thank you guys for humoring us on this little Carpenter tangent on Holy BatCast. But John Carpenter is amazing. So that's a great
Halloween
question,
season. You have to deal with 3 things: me talking about my kids' birthdays, me talking about pumpkin stuff, and me talking about John Carpenter. There.
All good things. All right, next message here is from Gerald Edwards. It says, hey, Andy, Jamie, and Brendan, if he's there. he's not there. It says, I've been listening to you guys for over a year, and Holy BatCast is definitely one of my go-to podcasts for Batman-related media. I dig the passion, humor, and how down-to-earth you guys are. Though I'm one of the people that has no interest in seeing a Snyder Cut of Justice League, I respect your thoughts on wanting it. I'm just more interested in where WB goes with the upcoming DC movies and beyond. Here's why I wrote you. Telltale Games, the company that produced the recent non-Arkham Batman games, just shut down. Looks like there won't be a third installment of their Batman series. I was wondering if you had any chance to play the second game. They definitely went some interesting places with Batman and the rest of the cast of familiar faces, especially the Joker. Well, guys, I hope, maybe, you have a spectacular Bat Day, Gerald. P.S. Jamie, sorry that John Gruden traded Khalil Mack. He looked damn good in a Chicago Bears uniform.
Yeah.
That last part, I just heard the teacher from Peanuts.
There's 10,000 moving parts to that. Gruden is one of the moving parts, but he's not the only reason it happened, and I'm not going to say any more about that, so please don't at me.
So the answer to your question, Gerald, I have not played the second game from Telltale. I really want to. I hope it's still available on the App Store because I will happily buy it and play it because I loved the first one. I thought the first one was awesome, so I am all about playing the second one. So I hope it's still going to be up there, even though Telltale is closing shop, which is kind of heartbreaking because I thought they did really good work, and it was super sad when I found out about that. So I do want to play the second game, and I do want to dedicate an episode to it.
I just want to read the comic adaptation because that's what I did with the first one, and I enjoyed it.
Good.
Oh, speaking of comic adaptations, and this isn't an adaptation, but this is just my line of thought, and I forgot to mention this to you last time. Are you reading Batman Kings of Fear?
No.
You need to. It's a Scarecrow story, and I think it's quite good.
Oh, all right. I haven't been to the comic shop in like a month.
Okay. Well, it's a 6-issue series. Number 2 came out I want to say 2 weeks ago, I think it was. So,
okay.
You can catch up on it real easy, but I think you'll dig it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Kelly Jones is drawing it too.
Cool. Sweet. Or maybe I'll just open my iPad and just buy it like that.
If you want to be a raging communist, please, by all means, go ahead.
And I do. Okay, next question is from Destin Jeans. We just have a couple more. It says, hey, Andy, Jamie, maybe, but probably not Brendan. My question is for Andy. If you had to give up one franchise of movies, past, present, and future, between Jurassic Park or Batman, what would you pick?
Careful how you answer this question, boy.
I know Batman's your favorite character and Jurassic Park is your favorite movie, so I can't wait to hear your answer. Anyway, guys, keep up the great work. You make my 12-hour shifts go by a little faster. Your longtime listener, first-time emailer, Destin. Destin, why don't you just drag me into an alley and kick me in the balls for 5 minutes?
Depending on how you answer this question.
That's just not even a fair question. That's not nice. That's not nice. I gotta go with giving up Jurassic Park, but not because I want to, but because you said past, present, and future, there are just so many more stories to tell in the world of Batman than there are in Jurassic Park. So even though Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time, and I would never want to give it up, Batman is like a whole world, and there's just a lot more possibility there. I mean, even looking at it, Jurassic Park has 5 movies, and Batman, oh God, what are we at now?
Counting
12?
The animated, it's
I'm just thinking theatrically. I feel like it's somewhere in there.
The 4,
right. 8. Plus Mask of the Phantasm. Plus 3 Nolan movies. Plus.
Is that beeping sound coming from your end?
Yeah, something going on outside.
All right.
Plus BVS. Plus Justice League is 11.
I feel like I'm missing one somewhere, but I know that's not
a lot. That's just theatrical, yeah. Anyway, I guess that's the answer to your horribly mean and cruel question, Destin. Thanks for putting me on the spot. All right, next one here is from Tom Fallows. It says, hey, Andy and Jamie. Anyway, Destin, but also I was going to say thanks for emailing. don't be afraid to email us. This is from Tom Fallows. It says, "Hey, Andy and Jamie, how are things? I was rereading The Long Halloween the other day and thought about multiple villains in a Batman movie like The Long Halloween, where there are many adventures over the course of Batman's adventures in between a larger story. It's never really been done in a Batman film, except for the Scarecrow at the beginning of The Dark Knight, and I feel like it builds a larger lived-in universe for Batman. If this were to happen, what would your choice of villains be? Also, I'd love a Batman film in the vein of The Long Halloween, or an animated film in Tim Sale's art style. Great listening to you guys, and keep geeking out, Tom Fallows." Thanks, Tom. Jamie, what do you think of if they did a Long Halloween style movie that was a bunch of villains? Who would you want to pop up?
I don't know. I don't know if this directly answers the question that was asked, but I would almost like to see the movies take the approach of like what Batman the Brave and the Bold did, where every one of them starts off with just a quick, maybe 5 or 6 minute snippet of Batman dealing with maybe a more obscure villain, or maybe a villain that was dealt with in a previous film, just to show that they're still around, much like what they did with Scarecrow in The Dark Knight. And I'm not really even picky on who shows up. I don't want to get into crazy stuff like Condiment King or anything like that, but I would like to see stuff like that happen, or Batman encountering another villain in the second act somewhere, as he's say chasing down the Riddler, and he comes across the Penguin and deals with him just quickly, almost like a glorified cameo, if you will. Something like that I think would be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, which villains? All of them? I don't know. Number one, I would love that. I would love a Batman movie that would be able to weave in cameos and appearances by so many of the Rogues Gallery and make it feel organic. I would love it. I throw that challenge out to Matt Reeves or whoever takes the reins after that, because I think it would be great. I mean, I think that's part of why I love Hush so much. It's part of why I love The Long Halloween so much, is because it's just fun to see this villain parade. And so to see that in a movie would be terrific. So, I mean, I've got my priority villains would be Joker, Catwoman, Riddler, Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, Harley Quinn, throw in Clayface, throw in Penguin. I love it. So yeah, but that's the beauty of setting it up like that, is you could, you could have even some of the more obscure ones show up and it could still be really fun. But yeah, I like your thinking, and I hope it happens someday. All right, one last email, Jamie. Whew, this was from Thomas Olson. It says, "Hey, Andy, Jamie, and guest. Maybe you've talked about it already, but I wanted to see if you have ever watched the show Beware the Batman. I recently went back and watched it, and I loved it. I was initially turned off by it when it first aired because it was focusing on Batman's lesser-known villains like Magpie, Anarchy, Professor Pig, etc. But after giving it a chance, it's one of my favorite Batman animated series. It's a damn shame it never got a second season, because they were really hitting their stride in the second half of the first season. If you have watched it, what are your thoughts?" Thomas. Thomas, thank you for the message. Jamie, did you watch Beware the Batman?
Is that the one where Katana basically filled in as Robin?
Yes.
Was that the one where the first episode was Anarchy for the villain?
I believe so.
Okay, if that's the case, then I have seen the first episode, and I just was kind of like, it's not bad. Like, I didn't hate it at all. I just didn't care enough to keep up with it, if that makes any sense. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm being down on it, because I frankly don't remember much of it.
Right.
But I never got into it, and that
is it on DC Universe?
I don't know if it is or not.
I feel like
if only
it should
I had a small
be.
device in my hand where I can.
I know it feels like it should be. I don't know if it is, but it seems like it's like a prime candidate to be on there, because it was a show that a lot of people missed the first time around, and it's Batman.
I'm not seeing it.
Well, I'm sure it's only a matter of time. I did watch the first half of the first season. I watched it, and then they shuttled it off to 1 a.m. on Sunday or something, which is when you know that they've given up. And so I never saw the second half of the first season. So I hope it hits DC Universe so I can watch it. I liked it fine. I liked it better than I expected to. because I remember the first promo images I was not super into, but I thought the show was okay. It felt like Gotham felt empty all the time, which I did not like. I just felt like they didn't have the money to populate the world, so I always felt like it was like Batman and one villain running around the empty streets of Gotham. And I feel like Gotham was a little less detailed than it probably could have or should have been. I didn't mind focusing on some of the lesser-known villains. I thought that was kind of fun, actually, because you don't get a lot of those guys, and so it's fun to see some of the more obscure rogues gallery. Katana was all right, but, you know, for me, it was kind of an odd choice, and I'm more of a Robin guy. And they did the, like, tough as nails Jason Statham Alfred, which I've never been a huge fan of. So there were things I liked about it. There were things I didn't like about it, but I thought it was all right. I think it's better than its reputation, and I do think it's worth watching if you've got it or if it shows up on the app.
For some reason in my head, I always get Beware the Batman and The Batman blended together and confused somehow.
Right. Beware the Batman was CG, it was computer. The Batman was not, it was traditional. I do have some Beware the Batman McDonald's toys, I'll have you know.
All right, then. I'm not at all surprised.
Because they did a Happy Meal, and I was like, oh, guess I'm going to McDonald's for lunch if I must. Anyway, that's it for the emails, but we do have a couple of voicemails. So, the first one here is from Jason.
Hi, Andy, Jamie. This is Jason. I have a question. What do you guys think of the Batman universe arc so far in the new Hunter Walmart comic? And I was wondering if you guys are going to be reviewing the animated Constantine movie that's coming out.
All right, thanks, Jason. So those questions. What do we think of the Batman Walmart comic? And then, are we going to review the animated Constantine movie? I have not picked up any of the Batman Walmart comics, so I have no input on that.
I have the first two. I've not read them yet.
Well, there you go. So,
and
TBD.
It's not because I'm put off by them or anything. It's just my stacks are out of control, ridiculous. So throwing in another 400 pages worth of books, because they don't just release Batman, you know, it's 4 books that come out at once. I just can't keep up with it. So someday when I'm on a trip or something, I'll just have to take those with me and catch up all at once.
There you go. And then, are we going to review the Constantine animated movie? Probably eventually, especially if it shows up on DC Universe. We haven't even talked about it, but you know, we try to cover all those when they come out, and I don't see any reason why not. Maybe that's a Halloween option. I don't even know when it's coming. I know it is coming. I've seen the artwork, but yeah, open to it. Thank you for the call, Jason. Next message here is from someone who did not leave their name, so mystery caller. Here we go.
Hey, Andy. Hey, Jamie, and possibly Brendan. Just wanted to call and say I love the show. Keep up the great work, guys. I love every bit of content you put out. But I have a question mainly for Mr. Jamie Drewley. Kind of a Sophie's choice. If it comes down to it, to where Scott Snyder controlled all of Batman, and that was it, nobody else, he made every decision with them, or if he'd rather have Rian Johnson take control of everything character decision Star Wars, which would he rather do? Because I know he hates what they do with the characters for each different property. I'm just curious to see what Jamie has to say. Keep up the great show, guys. Love it.
All right, thank you, mystery caller. And maybe that's why he didn't leave his name, is because he was going to make you make a tough decision. The first thing, though, I think he said he gave you the choice between Scott Snyder taking over all of Batman and Rian Johnson taking over all of Star Wars. My guess is he meant Tom King for Batman, because you've never expressed any strong...
I don't like Scott Snyder either, so...
Well, I know you're like not as big a fan, but I also feel like you've not like vocally really said anything against Scott Snyder, have you? I
am not a fan of Scott Snyder.
Okay, well then I don't know. Then let's stick with the original question. I thought he misspoke.
If this is, if I get a choice between only one Batman writer forever and it's Scott Snyder or Tom King, the answer is Scott Snyder. That's an easy one. But I don't. Scott Snyder doesn't write to my taste. It's not for me. I get that he's got a lot of fans and everybody loves Court of Owls and all that stuff, but it's just like I'm reading his Justice League right now and I find it utterly painful. Which probably doesn't make me Mr. Popular with those DC folks out there, but I'm just, saying how I feel. Like when Tynan writes the books, they do the intervals every few books where Tynan writes the perspective of the Legion of Doom. I think those are great, but like the Justice League stuff that the Snyder's writing is not what I want to read. It usually makes it more towards the bottom of my stack than the top. But boy, that's... At this point, I've only got one basis for Ryan Johnson to go off of, so I don't know if that for me was a fluke or if that's just what he's going to do from now on. I don't know how to answer that. So based on what I know, I would rather roll the dice and take the chance with Ryan Johnson, I guess. Because as much as I love Star Wars, it doesn't mean to me as much as Batman does.
Okay. And plus, The Last Jedi is good, so it doesn't matter.
I'm going to act like I didn't hear you say that because, you know what? Opinions vary.
They do. All right, cool. One more voicemail, and then we're getting out of here. This is Will.
Hi, Andy, Jamie, and possibly Brendan. This is Will, and I wanted to know y'all's favorite, just kind of obscure DC character. Like, for example, I know he's become more recognizable in recent years, but mine is Jonah Hex. And also, I was on this really reliable nerd site lately, and apparently, the Matt Reeves Batman movie has been cast. It's Rainn Wilson as Batman, Scarlett Johansson as the villain playing Baby Doll. So I wanted y'all's opinion on that, and love the show. God bless you.
Oh, Will's got jokes.
I feel like people are targeting me. I really do.
I feel like that too.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah, I know you're being funny, Will, but Scarlett Johansson as Baby Doll might actually make me warm up to the character. So I actually don't think that's the worst idea I've ever heard. So
this is how supervillains are born, people.
Oh, Jamie's gonna lose it. What was the real question? The real question, your favorite obscure DC character?
Going from a classic perspective, I'd have to put some thought into it. Going from a more recent perspective, this is a hands-down winner, and it ain't even close. The Silencer.
The Silencer?
Yes.
Who's the Silencer? Should I know this person?
It is part of the new age of DC Heroes books that spawned out of Metal, which have really nothing to do with Metal, so I don't know why they spawned out of Metal. But she is a former assassin that was personally trained by Talia al Ghul in the League of Shadows, and she basically pulls the long kiss goodnight and goes and has a kid and a husband, and they do not know her past as an assassin, and people keep showing up and trying to screw with her, and she puts them down summarily, and it's quite good. I enjoy it thoroughly.
Interesting. Interesting choice, Jay. That's very obscure. You do get obscure points for that.
Well, I mean, that series is only like 8 issues and an annual deep so far, so it's not like it's had a chance to even fade into obscurity. It's just, fresh on the horizon, if you will.
Right. I mean, that's the obvious answer is Blue Devil, obviously, but I feel like that's cheating. You guys already knew that. That's not a real answer. So other obscure DC characters that I enjoy, I had one. I already forgot. Oh, that's what I was going to say. The Wonder Twins. I love the Wonder Twins.
Oh, yeah. Gleek,
and they're
baby.
getting their own series.
Gleek?
Yeah, the Wonder Twins are getting a new comic series, which I just found out about this week.
Oh.
And I'm super excited about. Yeah. Check my Twitter. I even tweeted it out. Not mine, the Holy BatCast Twitter. Yeah, they're getting I think a mini series. I just think the Wonder Twins are super fun. And so yeah, I'm totally all in on the Wonder Twins. And do you know who else I kind of always liked? And I have no good reason for it cuz he is a lame character, but I liked him anyway. Jericho. He was part of the Teen
Deathstroke's
Titans.
son?
Yeah, Deathstroke's son, part of the Teen Titans. And honestly, the only reason I think I liked him is because I had these trading cards, and I had a Jericho trading card when I was little, and so I was like, oh, I like this character just because I have the card. But it's super obscure because he has not been around for a long time. I think he's dead. But that doesn't mean anything. But yeah, so there you go. There's some randos. Blue Devil, the Wonder Twins, and Jericho.
Fascinating.
Yeah. There you go. All right, that is it. We're closing the Wayne Manor mailbox. It was full because we didn't even clean it out last time, and then it's been a little while since our last episode, but we did it. I feel so productive. I'm going to reward myself with tacos. So if you've got a message for the Wayne Manor mailbox, if you want to send an email, you can send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. If you want to leave a voicemail, that number is 323-366-9246. And no more of these Sophie's Choices. Oh my gosh, making me choose to destroy Jurassic Park? Making Jamie choose? Rian Johnson, Star Wars for life? You guys are mean. Why so mean? This is Halloween, the season of love. Okay. Anyway, Jamie, this was super fun, as always. Thanks for joining. Thanks for staying up late. I appreciate it. I know the listeners do as well.
Yeah, it was a good time. We should do this again sometime, maybe.
Yeah, sometime between the next week and next year.
November.
November. I'll talk to you in November, guys. But Titans comes out this weekend, so we really should find time to review that.
We should do that.
That's a good one. I feel like that's an event that is worth celebrating.
Well, Raiders.
I'm finally getting a real live-action Robin, Jamie.
The Raiders are playing in London this week, which means it'll be a 1:00 game. So if you want to record Sunday afternoon, I can probably pull it off. But you might get lost in Arkham, so I may never hear from you again.
What a way to go!
If you got to go,
tell the twins I love
with a
them.
Smile.
Yeah. Cool. Well, where can the folks at home find you if they choose to?
I'm on the tweets at BatRaider3960, still celebrating all things pumpkin and hating the Raiders because they're breaking my heart, disappointing me horribly once again, and floating around various Real Fans groups on the Book of Faces.
Cool. I told you where to find me. You guys know that. But so that's where we're going to wrap this episode up of Holy BatCast. Thank you, as always, for downloading the show. Please do subscribe on iTunes. Please leave us an iTunes review. And as Michael Keaton's Batman said, I want you to tell all your friends about me. Visit holybatcast.com, like our Holy BatCast page on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and on Instagram at Holy BatCast, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Holy BatCast. There hasn't been anything new in a while, but you never know. Sometimes I get bored. Maybe something will pop up. But anyway, that's it for the episode. On behalf of my pumpkin brother Jamie, I've been Andy DiGenova. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Holy BatCast is brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. Remember, the thoughts and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone, and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
Show off. I could have just peed on it.